And Shalom is Brother Yashima Zakar from the Israelite Report, IsraeliteReport.com. Upon my watch, all praises are definitely due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity, those that truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. Those that are just sick of this place and hastening the day of the Lord, praying for the destruction of our enemies, because our enemies are definitely praying for our destruction. And a lot of people have a problem with that. They have a problem with understanding that massa don't love them. A lot of niggas are really into trying to please massa, and they haven't figured it out yet. You would think centuries of slavery would wake a nigga up, but our people are in a deep sleep. You know, they become homeborn slaves. But I want to start off with Daniel 4:17 says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is the Lord's doing, right? This is his will. Even our suffering, we're serving a prison sentence right now. And we believe that we're at the end of it. And that's what separates us from the rest of the world. The rest of the world thinks things will continue on as they are. But it says, and giving it to whomsoever he will. See, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. But the Lord promised the kingdom to the children of Israel. And when we bring that out, people have a problem with it. There's this new thing. It's not new, but all of a sudden you got these guys claiming that Esau can be saved. And I'm seeing that more and more on TikTok and YouTube, different places. The Lord promised to destroy Esau. These people are not reading the scriptures. But it says, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. And right now we have the bases of men, the most wicked man there is, the wicked of the wicked. Esau. Out of all the nations, Esau is the most wicked. And that just shows the power of the Lord, that he could bring us down way low and put Esau, the basis of men, the most wicked, the most evil, and put him up. Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So with that being said, we are his enemy. And he's looking to destroy us. He's looking to upset prophecy. And by any means, even if he has to destroy himself, he'll do it, just to make sure we don't rule. I got this from commercialappeal.com, and of course I'm late. And I know brothers already got on this already, did videos on it. But it says FBI Director Kash Patel targets Memphis, and Fox News show how homicide rate factors in. And in case you missed it, Kash Patel is deploying the FBI to Memphis. It says here, FBI Director Kash Patel stated Memphis is the homicide capital of America per capita. Patel announced an FBI task force will be deployed to Tennessee to address crime in Memphis. It says crime statistics for the first quarter of 2025 show an overall decrease in crime in Memphis compared to the same period in 2024. The FBI director called Memphis the homicide capital of America. Now, the thing is that this guy, Elon Musk, was talking about Memphis in this interview that he did. And he said God will come from Memphis. Now, I'm bringing that up because a lot of times what people don't understand is that Esau is so deep into the occult and everything is ritualistic. You know, they use a lot of numerology, and the Lord uses numbers too. But, you know, on the left-hand side, they use a lot of numerology and occult knowledge. And I just find it interesting that Elon Musk was talking about Memphis. And, you know, there was a Memphis in Egypt. And he said God will come from Memphis. And so now all of a sudden, you have this big focus on Memphis. I just thought that was interesting. But it says here, Cash Patel was interviewed by Fox News Channel's Sunday morning features, and said Memphis was the homicide capital of America based on per capita crimes. Patel, who assumed his position as director of the FBI on February the 21st, said a task force will be coming to Tennessee in response to crime. Now, I said, soon as Trump got his ass in the White House, I said, watch what this nigga do. He started off with the northern tribes, Latinos mainly, El Salvador, you know, Venezuela. He made a big deal out of El Salvador. And I said, watch, he's going to switch it. He's going to change his focus from the northern tribes and move over to the southern tribes, the so-called Negroes, Judah, because that's what they really have their eyes on. And of course, you know, Benjamin and Levi, because he's been talking shit about Levi. They accused them of eating dogs and cats during the presidential campaign of 2024. But what I believe we're about to see the prelims of Jacob's trouble. All right, we're about to see a preview. And I believe Memphis will be a testing ground to see what they can get away with, because that's how Esau operates, especially under the Trump administration, because he's the fall guy. You know, even if things go wrong, you know, they feel like, look, we can just blame Trump. They'll just say, oh, he's stupid, he's an idiot, he's a racist, he's this, he's that. I believe they're going to attempt to do some things they normally wouldn't do. And it may start down there in Memphis. And from there, they'll get their data, their information that they need. Plus, remember, also, Tennessee is a very racist state. You have a lot of sundown towns in Tennessee. There's certain places in Tennessee, as a black person, you better not be caught after dark. And that's just the way it is. So I believe they picked Tennessee. This is me thinking, my thoughts on it. I believe they picked Tennessee as a starting point, you know, Memphis. And this goes back to what I was saying back in I would really say 2020, when these niggas started doing the smash and grabs and the flash mobs, and we saw that shit here in DC. You know, I mean, they were wrecking havoc, especially during the George Floyd protests. Niggas was going crazy. I remember sitting on post. I was working the night shift back then, live on Fox 5 News. They had the cameras waiting. They had a group of niggas, you little young niggas, ready to go run into the Apple store. And they sat back and watched it, and the police were there. They sat there and watched them do it. I said, this is a setup. This is a setup for something later. I didn't know how much later. I was hoping it wouldn't be too much later because we wanted to get the hell up out of here. But I knew this would be used. So now you see this thing on social media called black fatigue. So these white folks are tired of niggas getting away with shit. All right? And that's what they wanted. That's what the elite set up. The whole purpose, and I'm ranting a little bit, but y'all please, bear with me just a little bit. The whole point of the Biden administration was to give the alley-oop to Trump, the setup for Trump. Biden allowed these niggas to run rampant because they know that there's a portion of our people that are like this. Allow them niggas to steal, kill, throw people into the metro trains, the subway stations, throw them right into all that type of shit, and then film it. Make sure it's plastered and blasted all over social media. So when Trump comes in and brings down the hammer, you will have the majority of white America on your side. That's why you're hearing about black fatigue. They're tired of you niggas. I've been tired of you niggas. I can't fucking stand you niggas. But this is a prelim to Jacob's trouble. So now things look different from 2020 to 2025. Now, when Cash Patel deploys the FBI down to Memphis, and if they just start arresting niggas, whether guilty or innocent, without due trial, right? They just start arresting niggas, yanking niggas up off the street. See, you're not going to have that side of white America that will say this is wrong, this is injustice. See, you niggas are retarded. You couldn't see the play. You were so busy running up into these stores and stealing shit that you didn't catch what this white man was throwing out there. Let me get Isaiah 32:5 before I go off. Isaiah 32:5 says, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. And the white man is the biggest hypocrite because he destroys nations. Jake is retarded. Jake destroys his neighborhood. Jake destroys his block. Jake go to prison, come back out and say he a real nigga, and then go back to jail again because he's a dumbass. But Esau goes all over the world, destroying. All right? For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy, to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the cherub are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. So there's going to come a time now, and I would say that time is closer than what a lot of people believe, when you're going to see these Edomites, these racist ass crackers, even the ones that are pretending not to be, they're not going to have a problem with the FBI, the police, or whatever law enforcement, ATF, when it doesn't matter, scooping your ass up and locking you away. That time is coming. Again, I believe these are the prelims, the preview to Jacob's trouble. I said this before on an episode I did a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how long ago. But I said, the thing about Trump, and the reason why you have to watch this nigga, because what I learned about Trump will throw something out there, and he'll see how people respond to it. And then it'll go away, because Trump is always doing something, he's always saying something. So it disappears in the news cycle, and people forget about it. And then that same thing that he may have said 3 months ago, 4 months ago, maybe even 6 months ago, he'll circle back around to it. I just noticed, I picked up on his timing, the way he does shit. He'll just say something, and people get on him, they'll criticize him for it, and then he'll move on to the next thing, and then the next thing you know, this nigga is actually implementing what he spoke about months before. So I'm saying that to say, this is not something to take lightly. Regardless of what happens in Memphis, just understand that Trump is the type of person that will circle back around to this, because this is his FBI director, his hand-picked FBI director, Kash Patel, who is an Elamite. I believe he's East Indian. And with him, he could do a lot of damage because he's a so-called colored person. And Salakia, I got into this topic a lot longer than I wanted to. But let me get Amos 9 and 8. It says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon this sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord." And we have to believe that, because we're coming into some terrible times, and I keep stressing this over and over and over and over. We're coming into some terrible times. It says, "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations," because our people are scattered. "Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword." And this is something that a lot of niggas just aren't ready to hear. They can't understand that the Lord is a man of war. And that these things are going to happen because of the Lord's word. He promised this. And the men that are bringing this out and telling it to them, they look at us like we're fucking crazy. Like there's something wrong with us. Not my God. not my Jesus. That's how they talk. God is just all love and it's just Satan doing it. No, God, Yahweh, gives the order to Satan. So if the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, who gave it to him? The Most High Power, Yahweh. Shall there be evil done in the city and the Lord have not done it? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? It's the Lord. The Lord did it. So the Lord has allowed Trump, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, these people to run rampant and bring hell on our people. The Lord could have easily have intervened in 2020, from 2020 to 2024 and said, hey, y'all get it together because Esau is about to come down on y'all with great wrath. He's about to accuse you of being the terrorists of the earth. Let me stop y'all from doing this. No, the Lord wanted you niggas to do it. The Lord allowed it. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And these niggas are about to find out just how evil and wicked this so-called white man is. That's what they're about to find out. And they're going to find out the hard way. Because you got a lot of niggas, Israelites, that are popping up saying Esau can be saved. Some niggas are saying that Esau ain't the white man. And if you want to follow that, go ahead. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of that which followed. So who the fuck is Esau? If Esau ain't the white man, then who is he? Because the white man is in rulership. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Who's the wicked? If it's not this so-called white man. I want to cover this subject real fast. Of course, this came from X. It came from someone by the Twitter handle, Pulse Baron. And he writes, masked federal agents are now waiting outside of courts to grab migrants. Did anyone vote for this? I want to read it again. Masked, meaning they have a mask on. Federal agents with masks on are now waiting outside of courts to grab migrants. And someone asked, why are the federal agents wearing masks? And this could lead to something. This is something to keep an eye on because there's rumors that the Trump administration or, people on a lower level have kind of like deputized certain people to round up these so-called illegal immigrants. Of course, the Northern Tribe, which are our brethren. But this is something to keep an eye on. And that's usually what I try to do. I try to report things that you should be looking out for. Because as I said before, I'll say it again. One thing I noticed during the Trump administrations is he always circles back. It starts off as one thing and then it turns into something else. It always escalates, but it may escalate later on. It may start off as a small thing, like, oh, it's bad now, but then it turns into something worse. All right. Think about the pandemic. Remember, it started off, oh, it was a few cases here, a few cases there, and then it turned into a whole shutdown, a whole lockdown. And everybody had to wear masks to enter certain facilities, all facilities, really. So I'm saying that to say this. Federal agents are wearing masks to grab migrants, or what they would call illegal immigrants. They're not IDing themselves. They're just snatching people up. Now, you know how Esau is. And you know where I'm going with this. It is Esau's dream, his wet dream, to be able to just snatch up a nigger. And when I say nigger, I mean a Hispanic and a Native American too, because he consider you niggers. I know some Hispanics that think they're better than blacks. They're going to find out the hard way, because this is the time of Jacob's trouble. That's what's coming. They're going to fucking find out. And all you niggas that were laughing at the Hispanics for being grabbed up, you're going to fucking find out too. Niggas think this is a game. They think it's a joke. Esau's not fucking playing. Let me get Psalms 10 and 1 before I curse the world out. Why standest thou afar off? And this is one of my favorites here. So I don't give a shit. Yo, you bring it out. Yeah, well, you goddamn right. I bring it out a lot. Fuck you. Psalms 10 and 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? And we're coming into Jacob's trouble. And there's going to come a time period where you niggas, you little Christians that's been talking shit about the Israelites. Because y'all been talking a lot of shit lately. I don't know what the fuck going on. Y'all really boasting. And you know what? Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, because it's the Lord that allowed you niggas to get up on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you at, and talk your shit about the Israelites. The Lord allowed you to do that because he's a just Lord. He's justifying him bringing destruction, unleashing his wrath. Right? So it says, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Now, see, niggas is going to say, well, if they're really a God, why ain't he helping us right now? Because your black ass is calling on Jesus Christ instead of Yahweh Shah. That's why. Fuck you. There's your answer. That's why. You calling on sweet baby Jesus like Talladega Nights. Sweet baby Jesus. That's what you calling on. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? In other words, where are you, Lord? I'm a good Christian. I go to church, I dance, I sings, and I shouts, and I pay my tithes. And I got a good pastor. Why is all these troubles coming upon me? That's what you niggas gonna be saying. It says here in the second verse, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor, and the wicked, the ultimate wicked, is Esau. That's why Trump is cutting off your Medicaid, your welfare, your SNAP. All you baby mamas out there that's living deliciously off of this place, Okay, you've gotten in bed with Esau. And I'm gonna tell you something else. A lot of tone it down. A lot of you black women, you don't fool me, because I was in Idaho, and trust me, I seen the way these black women. See, I'm toning it down. I seen a lot of them. I seen what they do when they get around them white men. Oh, their tone is different when they're around them white men. You be surprised. You brothers, you think you've seen Eve at her worst? You should see her in a place like Idaho that's predominantly white. Oh, that strong, independent woman shit go right out the window. Oh, she's a good bed wench for massa. You'd be surprised what them white boys used to tell me they do with them black women. But that's another subject for another time. You'd be surprised, man. That shit would piss you the fuck off. All you brothers in these major cities like New York and Philly, LA, y'all think y'all seen the triflingness of no. You should see them them black women that are in them places like Oklahoma, Wyoming, Idaho. Oh man. Oh, they good nigga bitches for massa. Trust me. They good nigga bitches for massa. But anyway, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And ultimately what's going to happen is this is going to boomerang for Esau. Right now, he believes that he is going to be able to persecute the children of the Lord. And he is going to do some damage. 2/3 of our people, the wicked. But the Lord is going to be there for his elect. That's why we pray. We pray that the Lord is with us because we know that evil times are coming. We know these times are coming. So our prayer is that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai be with us and that he has his angels encampeth around us, right? That we be protected in this time of trouble. I'm going to read it again. It says, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The Lord hates the wickedness of our people and of Esau, even though he put it in his heart to do it. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh, our power. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved. And that's going back into one of my favorites, my classic favorite, Psalms 49 and 11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. They really believe this. You have to understand the mindset of Esau in the height of his glory. Even though his kingdom is coming down, there's still a sense of pride that they feel like they can rebuild, as Malachi says. You know, Esau believes that whatever has been thrown down, he could build back up. It says, fifth verse says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And niggas have linked themselves with Esau. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. This is why the Lord is bringing hell on the northern kingdom at this moment, because a lot of them have been talking shit about the southern kingdom, you know, the so-called blacks, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and saying, oh, why can't you just do what we do? Well, first of all, you're not the head tribe. Judah's the head tribe. And you don't understand that Esau brings a special kind of hell on Judah. You understand? That's the tribe that our Lord came from. He sprung out of the tribe of Judah. So there's a special hatred. Now, I'm not trying to be, you know, a tribalist or nothing like that, but I'm saying there's a special hatred upon Judah that the northern tribes won't understand. Some of them get it. You know, the elect men will understand it. But they really put hell on Judah. A special hatred. And they can't stand you Hispanics either. I know. I'm telling you, when I was in Idaho, the shit that I used to hear them say about Latinos, man, it was crazy. I said, they got to be niggas. I used to be the black man in the room full of white people. And after a while, they would forget that I'm in the room. And they would say what's really on their mind. When they forget, the spook that sat behind the door, I'm sitting there listening to them, and my mouth is dropping. The shit they would say about blacks and Latinos. I would hear that shit. They would forget I'm in the room. Because I've always been, you know, I was at work, I'm a quiet person. Man, they hate you. They hate you. And their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. They don't look at you as a real threat. They look at you as that you're just lowly niggers that belong under their foot. And that goes for all the tribes. I want to read the 6th verse again. It says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right? His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Full of deceit. Full of true cursing. Because a nigger would say, well, you say a curse word. Motherfucker, I ain't said a curse word, bitch. True cursing is when you are wishing death on someone. That's a curse. You understand? Niggas are stupid and simple. 8th verse says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places, in the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. And that's what Esau is looking to do. And I'm getting back to the main topic. These mass federal agents, you don't know who the hell these people are. Snatching up our people, man. Snatching them up. And you think it's just going to stop with the northern tribe? Hell no. They're moving over they already told you they're getting ready to pounce on the southern tribe, Judah, the so-called black man. And that includes Benjamin and Levi too. They already told you. Cash Patel told you. They're moving the FBI to Memphis because that's their starting point, and they're going to start locking up and sending off these criminals. And when they come down with wrath on you niggas, they're not going to give a shit if you're just a black man walking down the street trying to get from point A to point B. They're going to look at you as nigger, criminal, nigger, criminal, nigger, criminal. That's it. Because you know how they look at us. If one nigger does something, that means all the niggers did it. Because they're retarded like that. And the Lord put it in their spirit to be like that. 8th verse again. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And who's the real poor in this time? It's us. When you look on the internet right now, you see these Edomites crying about black folk, niggas. And they call it black fatigue. It's all over the internet. Black fatigue. They're tired of you niggas. And I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I don't give a shit how many times I say it. Even the so-called white folk that befriend you and become, your neighbor or, your buddy at work, even they are at the point where they're saying we got to do something about these niggas. And guess what? The powers that be, the elites of Esau, Edom, they know this. That's why I told you the Biden administration was set up by design to let niggas run rapid, to let the worst of our people run rapid, breaking into cars, breaking into stores, stealing shit, robbing people, pushing people into subway trains. Because the accuser of thy brethren. That's what he's looking to do. Accuse you. Accuse you both day and night. That's what he's doing. And if you think what they're doing right now with this so-called crackdown on illegal immigration, if you think that's bad, wait until you see what they do to the southern tribes. Wait till you see what they do with Jake. I want to talk about this right quick. This is quite interesting to me because, these Edomites are getting tired of these small hats. And I always talk about the Edomites, the rest of the Edomites feeling like they're not getting their fair share of the pie, their fair piece of the pie. And they're tired of these small hats. Stu Peters on X, and if you don't know who Stu Peters is, you're wrong. Stu Peters is I would say in alternative media. He's a major podcaster. Here's a show he does every day. He used to be on the Alex Jones show, but I believe he split from Alex Jones because Stu Peters is one of those people that's not bending the knee to the small hats, and Alex Jones is. So Stu Peters writes on X, these people are the biggest liars on the planet Earth. He's talking about the small hats, the J-ish people. He says they have no shame. They claim, the IDF claims that since the war began, we've facilitated 1.7 million in aid to Gaza. Our war is with Hamas, not Gaza. And, Stu Peters has been calling these people out, as many others have. Because Esau is in that space where he's just tired of this shit. He's tired of niggas. He's tired of the small hats. Speaking of the small hats, my apartment that I live in now, uh, I got a few small hats that live in my place. So when I'm coming home, I or even going to work, I happen to run into them, and they're proud. They're wearing this. They're literally wearing their small hats. Some of them, they even have their little Torah with them, and it pisses me off. Of course, it pisses me off. But it's pissing these Edomites off because they're sick of them. They're sick of America sending aid to these people. They're sick of all of their politicians bowing the knee to them. And they're just tired of this whole thing. Um, Someone wrote in a reply, their entire existence is a lie. The state of Israel is the biggest scam in the history of mankind. So, yeah, this is how these Edomites feel about the state of Israel. From End Times headlines, it says time is running out for an Iran. Excuse me, time is running out for Iran, and the nations will try to divide Israel. And this is in what they would call a opinion piece. It says, in tonight's podcast, we discuss significant developments in the Middle East regarding multiple fronts on the verge of all-out war. The White House reporting that Trump's patience is wearing thin with the Israel and Gaza conflict. New intel warns that Israel may be gearing up to strike Iran, and in a meeting in New York next month, may see nations come together with the intent to pressure Israel into accepting a Palestinian state. So there was a rumor that Trump said he will recognize Palestine as a state. That's a rumor. I don't know if that's true. I can't confirm that. Here's what I do know. I know that the state of Israel has had their eyes on Iran for quite some time and definitely looking to take over Gaza and all of Palestine. I do know that. And pretty much, I would say that at this point, this is their best chance to do it. You have Donald Trump in there, who is the most compromised as far as the state of Israel is concerned person there is, because he was bailed out by the Rothschilds back in the late 80s. If that's even the real Donald Trump at this point. But anyways, I feel like if they were ever going to try it, they would try it right now. That's why they're going for broke. That's why you see these escalations, because they have the right man in there. I said it before, I'll say it again. Fuck Biden. I didn't care about the Biden administration. I was waiting for Trump to get in there. That's what I wanted. And that's what we're getting. We're getting nothing but escalation. He said he was going to get in there and he was going to end the Russia Ukrainian war immediately. That didn't happen. He was going to bring peace to the Middle East. That's not happening. Again, the heart of the kings is in the hand of the Lord. Okay? It's the Lord that determines what you're going to do next. It doesn't matter how powerful you are, what position you're in. It's the Lord that determines it. So yeah, they're right. End times headlines saying time is running out for Iran and the nations. Okay? Time is running out. And it's running out for 2/3 of our people too to get it right. And they're not going to get it right because the Lord said 2/3 of our people are going to get cut off. And again, we bring it out over and over again, but it's just a reminder. Jeremiah 50:45, it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he have taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he have proposed, that he has proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And there's no way to escape this. Trump could talk peace all he wants to. I believe he went and met with Saudi Arabia and he talked about, or they claim he talked about recognizing Palestine as a state. But it doesn't matter. The Lord is going to put it in his heart to go to war because the Lord is a man of war. His determination is to gather the nations for Armageddon. Okay, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved and the cry is heard among the nations. Yeah, so they're gonna weep, right? Because they won't be able to make their money with Babylon anymore. Let me get where's it at? Let me get Exodus 17:16. It says, for he said, because the Lord have sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek, that's the small hats, Amalek, from generation to generation. And this is the will of the Lord. They tried to steal our identity, call themselves the Jews, right? And say they were the chosen people. So the Lord has said he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And right quick, while I'm thinking about it, let me get Isaiah 14, Isaiah 14:26. It says, this is the purpose that is purpose upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord of hosts hath proposed, and who shall disannul it? See, once the Lord determines something, that's it. His word doesn't go out void. Trump thinks he can step in there and be the mediator, like he's the Messiah, like he's going to stop the nations from going to war. But surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right? He thinks he can go make peace in the Middle East. He had, back in 2020, he had something called the Abrahamic Accord. And that was supposed to bring the Muslim nations and the so-called Jewish nations together in peace talks. But again, Isaiah 14:26, it says, this is the purpose that is purpose upon the whole earth, and that is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For the Lord of hosts have proposed, and who shall disannul it? Who's going to turn it back? Who's going to go against the will of the Lord? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? Who's going to go against the will of the Lord? It take a proud devil like Trump to get in there and think he's going to upset prophecy. That's why I love this nigga. You may hate him, but I love that nigga because he's doing some real niggerish shit. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's trying to fight the Lord. He's trying to fight prophecy. And since I'm in the book of Isaiah, I might as well get this. It's one of my favorites. Isaiah 66:15, it says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind." And that's what people don't get and don't understand. They're talking about UFOs and aliens and gray people and Anunnaki. They don't they don't understand that the Lord has purposed this. This is the will of the Lord. Look, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots, mainly Yahushua and the angels, like a whirlwind. A whirlwind is sudden. You ever heard anybody talking about a whirlwind? A whirlwind is sudden. It just creeps up upon you. You standing still, everything's good, and then all of a sudden a whirlwind just hits your ass, take you out. Like a mini tornado. I guess, for lack of a better term. It says, "Behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." All right? And this is something you cannot stop. Okay? The Lord's rebuke is coming with flames of fire. This is something you cannot stop. This is not something you can go against. You cannot upset prophecy. But the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And they think they can upset prophecy. They got another thing coming.